Here is a 750-word video script in English about the poor fisherman and the golden fish. Written in a storytelling style similar to The Target. Once upon a time, in a small fishing village by the sea, there lived a poor fisherman and his wife. Every day the fisherman would go out in his small, weathered boat to cast his nets, hoping to catch enough fish to feed his family and perhaps have a little left over to sell at the market. One fateful morning, as the sun was just beginning to peek over the horizon, the fisherman set out as usual. "I am no ordinary fish, but a magical creature. If you release me back into the sea, I will grant you any wish your heart desires." The sea was calm, and a light mist hung over the water. He rowed far out into the bay, where the water was deep and the fish were plentiful. After a moment's hesitation, he carefully removed the hook from its mouth and released it back into the sea. As the fish disappeared beneath the waves, it called out, "Remember, kind fisherman." "If it's truly magical," she said, "then go back to the sea and wish for a new house. Our old hut is falling apart, and I'm tired of living in poverty. When you need me, just come to the shore and call. My wife and I are very poor, and we need food to eat." His wife was overjoyed, and for a time they lived happily in their new home. When he told his wife what had happened, she was furious. "Why should we settle for a simple cottage?" she asked. But her happiness was short-lived. Soon she wanted more, to be a queen, then an empress, and finally to have power over the sun and moon themselves. That fish could make us rich beyond our wildest dreams. And each time, the golden fish granted the wish, though its voice grew sadder and the sea more turbulent with every request. "Go back and ask for a grand palace, with servants to wait on us hand and foot." As the fisherman made this final impossible request, the sky darkened and the sea churned with angry waves. Wealth and power could not bring happiness, only gratitude for what one already has. And kindness towards others could do that. From that day forward, he and his wife lived simply but contentedly, never again taking for granted the true riches of life: love, health, and the beauty of the world around them. "You fool," she cried. "We could have eaten for a week with that fish, or sold it for a fortune at the market. You had everything you needed, but it was never enough. Now you shall return to what you truly deserve." How could you let it go? All the riches, the palace, the power, everything was gone. He and his wife were once again poor, with nothing but his fishing nets and boat to their name. With a practiced hand, he cast his nets and waited patiently. "Your wish is granted, kind fisherman," it said. "Return home, and you will find a new house waiting for you." For a moment, he was tempted by the fish's offer. But then he thought of his wife waiting at home, and how disappointed she would be if he returned empty-handed. "My wife has sent me with a plea. A new house is our family's need." Hours passed, and the fisherman's nets remained empty. Just as he was about to give up and head home, he felt a strong tug. Excited, he pulled in his nets, expecting to find a large catch. But to his surprise, there was only a single small fish, a fish unlike any he had ever seen before. When it appeared, he made his request, feeling ashamed of his greed. But the fish granted the wish without complaint, and when the fisherman returned home, he found a magnificent palace where their cottage had been. Its scales glimmered like pure gold in the sunlight, and its eyes seemed to shine with an otherworldly intelligence. "I promise that whatever you wish for, it shall be granted. You need only come to the shore and call for me, and I will appear." As the fisherman reached out to grab the fish, it suddenly spoke in a clear, melodious voice. "Please, kind fisherman, spare my life." The fisherman was astonished. He had heard tales of magical creatures in the sea, but never believed them to be true. "I'm sorry, little fish," he said gently, "but I must bring you home." The golden fish pleaded once more. "I beg you, set me free." The fisherman's heart was moved by the fish's words. The fisherman returned home, his nets empty, but his mind full of wonder. The fisherman tried to explain about the fish's magical powers, but his wife wouldn't listen. Though he was reluctant to test the fish's promise, the fisherman didn't want to disappoint his wife. So he returned to the shore and called out, "O golden fish, if you can hear me, come to me from the deep blue sea." To his amazement, the golden fish appeared, its scales shimmering in the sunlight. The fisherman hurried back to the village, and sure enough, Where their old hut had stood was now a beautiful cottage with a thatched roof and a garden full of flowers. But as the days passed, the fisherman's wife grew discontent once more. The fisherman was hesitant, but his wife insisted. So once again he went to the shore and called for the golden fish. His wife was ecstatic, reveling in their newfound wealth and luxury. Each time the fisherman reluctantly returned to the sea to make his wife's increasingly outrageous demands. At last, when the fisherman's wife demanded to be made ruler of all the universe, the fish's patience came to an end. "You have let greed consume you," the fish said sorrowfully. With a flash of golden light and a crash of thunder, the fisherman found himself back in his old run-down hut by the sea. As the fisherman looked out at the now calm sea, he realized the true lesson of the golden fish.